Hi, and welcome to Guild Wars 2 Guide to Ascalonian Catacombs, the dungeon. I am here to explain to you, in pretty easy steps, everything you need to know to defeat the dungeon. So, let's start with how to actually open LFG, which means looking for a group, where you can find enough people to defeat the dungeon with. Usually 5 players is recommended, but when it comes to story mode in Ascalonian Catacombs, you can probably do it with 3 people. I would still recommend 5 just for the ease of actually doing it. And yeah, what I'm putting here is story and all paths. So, where can you then find this dungeon? Well, Ascalonian Catacombs is located in Plains of Ashford, which is the Char race starting map. And as you can see it on the map, it is marked by the door icon. And it's located next to Ascalonian Catacombs waypoint. To even access Ascalonian Catacombs, your character needs to be at least level 30. That gives you the access to the story mode. After you defeat the story mode, you will also gain access to the exploration paths. The recommended level for the exploration path is 35, but in all honesty, you should probably take a bit of a higher level character because the exploration path is way harder than the story mode. When it comes to using LFG, people really like to use shortened versions of the words. So I am just gonna put on screen some information that you might find useful for, actually being able to tell what they require from you. And now we just wait for people to appear. They will appear on the left side on your screen, and you will be able to talk to them by using party option in the chat. So, now that people are here, we can actually enter the dungeon. Now that you can see, right behind me is a portal to enter Ascalonian Catacombs, and I will get an option to choose either story mode or exploration path. If you don't see the exploration mode, that means that you have not done the story mode on the given character yet. Choose the story mode option, and everybody in the party will now get an option to join you in the catacombs. In every dungeon there are cutscenes. You get an option to skip them, or you can watch them, but know that your party most of the time cannot proceed while you are still watching the cutscene. So usually, if they are trying to do the dungeon as fast as possible, they will be annoyed with you trying to watch them. To start the dungeon, talk to the NPC indicated by this red symbol above their head.
Ready.
In this part of the dungeon, you will need to open the graves until the gate guardian appears. Out of the blue blobs you shall see in the ground in a second, there will spawn elite enemies, only one per blob, so it's pretty easy to control. Now, when it comes to opening the graves, I would recommend only opening one grave at a time, because that will allow you to control the number of enemies that are on the screen at the moment, because it is very easy to get overwhelmed. Out of the enemies that come out of the grave, spiders are the most dangerous ones because they use poison and it can add up really easily, and characters under the level 80 don't often have good condition cleanses, so I would be really fast to get rid of them. Now, the Gate Guardian only has one attack that you should be concerned with, and it's the attack he does with his hammer after it charges, indicated by a yellow glow around it. It's mostly dangerous because it tends to knock you down, and then it's pretty easy for him to do a big damage for you. So, when you see the hammer charging, just evade backwards and you will be fine. After the Gate Guardian is defeated, the gate opens and you can proceed to the next room where 2 elite fighters spawn. It is advised to fight them with a long-range weapon because the floor is covered with traps. Now, the fire trap in this room is something you will definitely need to evade through, because for some reason, despite other fire traps not really killing you, this one will murder you. After defeating those 3 elites, You have two options. Either go to the gate and defeat the person standing next to them, which is an optional fight, and then get the stone to open the gates, or you can just get the stone and completely ignore the fight. That is up to you. As you see, my team here is pretty strong, so they decided to go in for the fight. Might as well have them kill him. Anyway, get the stone and place it on the slightly glowy stone. As you can see, there are some like light patches coming out of it. Now, the next room looks really annoying, but honestly, you can just run through it and ignore the entire thing. It is honestly really recommended. There is no need to fight anything in there. Now, just a general word of advice. If you follow my exact path, the cave troll will not be something you will encounter. But if you do not fight it. It's a pretty hard enemy, and the loot table of it is really not worth it. It's just a big annoyance for the entire party. Now with strong team this part is pretty easy, but if you are finding yourself having problems, focus on the smaller enemies and focus them together so that you can kill them faster before they are able to kill you. After all of the enemies are killed, there will be a chest in the middle of the room. Don't forget to take it. Now, 3 bosses will spawn. It is completely up to you which one you choose to fight first, but the one on your left is recommended to fight first because it will spawn a waypoint that you can use later on just to make the entire experience of the dungeon a bit faster. Now, after some time, this boss usually teleports to the other side of the platform, but in this case it didn't really happen. But if it does, just use your range attack and it will be fine. Now, his dogs will also spawn, so just kill them. No, they don't look like this always, it's just a weird bug. I do not know why it happened. After this, a chest will also appear, so yeah, don't forget to take it. And as you can see on the right side where my map is, the waypoint is actually now unlocked for the party to use. Now we go to the left again to once again avoid unnecessary elite combat. There will be also a mini event of a grazing burrow that you can just destroy. Now the boss in this part of the dungeon is the easiest one. She is really easy to defeat. Just make sure she doesn't have time to summon her creatures. Now at the end of this fight there will also be a chest like 2 times before, so don't forget to take it. Other than that, there will also be another stone that you can take and use to open the gates. That leads to the next boss room.
She can rest now. Her trials on this world are over. The journey continues. You have my attention.
I will need more endurance.
Now, this is what I consider the hardest boss fight in the dungeon, mostly because there are 2 bosses in here. And the main advice I can give is basically focus one of them so they don't have time to charge or join the attacks.
Careful, she's got a friend. Keep them apart.
This rose has thorns. Here they are.
After this, there is also another chest, so take it and then you can actually use the waypoint you unlocked before to teleport closer to the boss and once again avoid unnecessary combat.
I thought they'd never shut up. With all this death, Adelberd's blood must be boiling by now.
This here is the last boss of the dungeon. Just wait for the rest of your party to show up and kick its ass. Small aggression, as you can see, the boss is not attacking me, that's because one of the players is still in a cutscene. So yeah, this is what I meant by your party might get annoyed if you keep on watching cutscene.
You are all weaklings. You are all weaklings.
So let's talk rewards now. You will always get some kind of gear, unidentified gear, as well as there's guaranteed 50 silver for completing the story mode in Ascalon. There are also achievements connected to this dungeon. One of them is Dungeon Frequenter, which requires you to complete 8 different paths in a dungeon. That will give you 5 gold as well as Dungeon Frequenter chest. Next one is Catacomb Conqueror, which will give you 15 achievement points and is for completing story mode as well as all 3 paths in Ascalonian Catacombs. Next one is Hobby Dungeon Explorer, which will give you 5 points per completion and it's capped at 200 achievement points. So yeah, see you in the next one when I will explain how to complete F1 as easy as possible.